Y'all, Sai here. This is part 2 of making the Intarsia fish. So, last time we talked about picking out the pattern. This time we're going to talk about what to do with the pattern. I made a bunch of copies, and the amount of copies you need is dependent on how you can cut the pieces out, and we'll get to that later. But, because this pattern is not specific for Intarsia, I put on here the colors that I want. I want yellow here, purples here, and some yellow, and then some reds. And then I also put the grain direction that I think would look best with the fish. And this is going to be my master copy. So that one I am not going to cut up. That's going to be the one I put my pieces on. And all the rest of these I can cut up and put on my wood. So let's do that. Right here is my pile of wood. I have my yellows and my reds and my purple. And you know what? Picking out the wood is almost one of the hardest things to do in Intarsia for me anyway. So I just know I want it purple, red, and yellow. And actually I'm at the mercy of the colors because this is the only one that I have that's big enough for the body of the fish. So that's something to think about too. All right, I'm just gonna start cutting pieces out. I cut out each piece and I set them aside according to color. When cutting out a shape, you will end up cutting into the piece next door or that surrounds it, and this is why you need multiple copies. And you kind of have to get creative with your cutting. This process is a lot easier if the pieces are numbered. Alright, there are my 3 piles, my yellow, my purple, and my red, and this is white with the eyeball, which I almost forgot. And a lot of times I do forget to cut out one, so it's always good to keep a master. I have cut up a master before, then it's like, oh no! So make sure you keep a master. And I like to use repositionable stick glue. So this, I don't have any left, and I've had a hard time finding it lately. So this stuff is washable glue. I don't like it as much, but it'll work. And then there's also spray-on adhesive, which I almost bought a can of that a couple days ago, but I've tried it before and didn't like it. So maybe I'll try that again, but there are lots of options. So now you just take the corresponding color and the corresponding grain recommendation, and you start gluing it to the wood. So let's do that with the purple. So my grain weight goes this way. Since I only have this one piece of purple heart, I needed to make sure that all of the pieces were going to fit and have the grain match. So I set them out first to see if they would fit before I glued it. Yeah, yay! Okay, I'm gonna glue those all on. Lining up the pieces so that the grain works with the pattern is desirable, but it can lead to a lot of scrap. And sometimes you just can't go with the grain of the wood, and sometimes you may not even care to. Once I have the pieces all glued to the board, I just turn it upside down and let it, stick better or whatever. Right, yellow! Then I glued to the yellow and to the red. So all the pieces now are cut out and they're drying on their piece of wood. Which color they go. Alright, so that's that part. The next part, we'll be cutting the pieces out. Thanks for watching Intarsia Instruction Part 2. I hope you join me for the next video.